reports, expert opinion, and stakeholders' analysis. These are the stories making the headlines. Nasarawa State, Fulani vigilante groups banned. Naira abuse, National Orientation Agency commends EFCC. Election, NBA to adopt e-voting. Governance, federal government declares a National Police Day. Natural disaster, 31 states, 148 local government areas risk flooding. In economy, IMF forecasts 3.3% growth in 2024. We'll go on a short break, and when we are back, the conversation will begin.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today.
Every day our lives are changed by history. I covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
You human trafficker.
Honourable
You're a human.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Joining today's conversation via Zoom is a legal practitioner and socio-political analyst, Barrister Henry Ekine.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
It's my pleasure. Good morning.
Barrister Ekine. Thank you for joining today's conversation.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now to the story. The Nigerian Bar Association has stated that an electronic voting system will be used for its 2024 election. The Nigerian Bar Association explained that this decision will allow members of the country are expected to participate. The committee is expected to shortlist the names of successful respondents.
That probably convert somewhere for elections. You will not hear of ballot box snatching or stuffing. You will not hear of actual violence or those electoral violence experiences in elections. And again, the convenience for electorates where once the voting opens and then you have your code, your access, and you just enter the portal, you could actually be lying on your bed and then you take part in the elections. And then you find a situation where it saves resources and time for those who would have been required to convert somewhere to cast their votes. If the electoral committee would have imagined where they would printing ballot paper.
Conscience, because we've had issues.
Yes, we are humans, and then we are not infallible. That is, it's not that people can't make mistakes. The extent that they are largely managed, and then such effects may be very significant and minimal, or in some cases even absent in certain elections. Then the electronic voting system remains the option, the preferred option for elections. Now, yeah, the Nigerian Bar Association may be concerned about possible issues of glitches, accreditation by verifying your membership on the platform, the portal. You will receive, actually had challenges much about logging or having access. So sometimes I even wonder the complaints that Nigerians have actually, oh, there will be network, oh, there will be challenges. Why not try the system first and measure the extent conducting our elections manually, physically? So it still wouldn't have been any worries if we adopted the electronic voting system and then in the first outing we experienced one change or another. I think we would have been able to learn our lessons and fix them. But in the NBA elections, we really haven't had serious reports about failures of the system. That's why I think it's commendable the bar and even those who work with the NBA to set in those systems, those platforms for electronic voting. If the system has been to the best of my attestation, and then I believe that many would also attest to that effect. I have never had any situation where I've been disenfranchised or unable to because of glitches in the system, the portal breakdown, vigilante groups, and then neighborhood watch and other forms of non-state groups for the purpose of securing their spaces. There were issues and concerns about the training of these individuals, and then also concerns about the provisions of the Constitution with respect to dealings on arms and ammunition and setting up any security outfit in the resemblance or likeness of the police or any other security agency. Those concerns were really palpable across the country. I recall even in River State when the former governor attempted to set up the neighborhood state or very important information and if you like, intelligence to be able to assist and support the security agencies, either to prevent
the line, across the ocean, to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today.
Alright, straight to the stories. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Malam Lanre Issa Onilu, has commended the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on its drive against all forms of Naira abuse. Onilu gave the commendation in Abuja in a letter addressed to the Executive Chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoyede. According to him, the actions being taken by the Commission against Naira abuse amount to preservation of the integrity of the national currency, the Naira. Already, the EFCC has secured 24 convictions across the country on the issue of Naira abuse, while those facing prosecution across the Commission's 14 zonal commands and corporate headquarters are 200. Olukoyede had on February 7, 2024 raised a special task force against currency racketeering, dollarization of the Nigerian economy, abuse and mutilation of Naira notes at the Commission's headquarters and zonal commands. Now, the thing is, do you agree with the commendation?
Once again, thank you for having me. But in my usual character, it is my opinion and my personal opinion. We are not antagonists to government, but we are critics of what we consider lame steps of government at some point. A man whose house is on fire will not be talking about a girlfriend who is on the way coming to visit him. He must be considerate about the very important issues that, or the properties and documents that might be consumed by that fire. I think our security agencies and financial institutions should be more conscious of the state of the government. I think this is, for me, one of those distractions for the officers of the EFCC. Because whether we like it or yes, is it the Naira abuse by the common citizens that are the issues that are plaguing the country today that we all should bother ourselves about? But I think it is pertinent for us to look at the occasions of high-profile personalities and see to it that these whatsoever curtailing measures for the abuse of the Naira is checkmated. What further abuses can we really give to the Naira than the fact that as we speak today, almost all the MDAs, including the Villa, have not paid, are owing the power corporations.
No.
Now, these monies are yet to be paid. The whole idea of governance for a reasonable period of time right now has been on making sure that the Nigerian people suffer, holding them on the jugular. Look, I am not someone who wants to advocate for the abuse of the Naira. It must be respected. That cost of installing that gas plant is what we are voting out for. People are abusing office, abusing funds with their bios and with their statements and with their utterances and policies. And here we are, running among the street looking for how to fill they've already filled prisons or stations with persons Nigerians that are seemingly trying to make themselves in one way or the other happy. I do not commend the abuse of the Naira in any way. I condemn it in all forms, but I think that the way and manner the government is going, the government should have dissipated more energy on more serious issues regards to governance.
Now you
the removal of subsidy from the petrol, that we said, oh, because we are removing this, we're going to be accruing money, we're going to block the leakages and all. How much has been accrued? The economy is on a crunching down. We have removed them. We have come to remove subsidy in power. They say it is for the trunk A, like trunk A or trunk whatever they call it. I make bold to say that I know where I live, I know where other people live. For everybody who has a meter, where and how as a PHED or the power or the discos been able to work out a modulus where people have separate bills, where you say because you are trunk A, the mutual system is you buy vouchers directly from your account or by any means possible. The voucher is given to you at a cost. Now, on what parameter, what software are they using to say they have separated trunk A persons who now buy vouchers and the vouchers read separately from trunk B, trunk C and trunk D? These are lies. These are government just coming to give us words, and we do not have an opposition in the country. We do not have a labor anymore. Everybody has told a pattern of politics.
Mr. Chuba, do you think this agency has earned it?
Like I've said before, I will keep saying it. I just want to do what I think it's necessary to conscience, guide public opinion in my only two ways from my own thought pattern, and I want to believe that this is another waste of public funds, because we're talking about the Nigerian Police Week or the Nigerian Police Day. The only justification to this effect is the fact that I am yet to see the entire document to know what programs have been laid out for that week. Outside of that, we have seen a lot of programs being held by government, and at the end of the day, it has been just cost effective for the government, and outside of that, there's been no benefit in respect to the Nigerian state. One thing that should come to the mind of anybody talking about the Nigerian police force is what led to what happened in October 2020. We should understand on 20th of October 2020, something happened, something profoundly that we cannot easily forget.
The police officers, what agency do you think can take care of that aspect of making sure that these police officers are trained and retrained, in your own words, to be better servers of its citizens?
I will not come here and give an agency, name of an agency, and at the end of the day tomorrow, when, for instance, the government listens and they will say, oh...
Do you think the government should create one?
The government has... No, you don't need to create. There are a lot of... Given the right orientation, you understand? As we speak today in River State, using Port Harcourt City as a case study, it is a norm, knowing that when you see police officers on the road, it is 90% that you must bring out money. And when you travel from the shores, length and breadth of the south, you find out the south, the southeast, you find out that this is a norm. These orientations have to be made. These trainings have to be made, because an average child learns by watching. And when you see people just stretch out their hands and they are gifted money, people now think they can be paid for nothing. So what I would like you to hear is, these are the issues, the main germane issues that government should be looking at, not just calling a day or looking at a week or calling it a police week. For me, they know the agencies to work with, and I think they all have them at the beck and call.
Now that they have been given the honors, the Nigerian police force, what can they do to do better? Because to whom much is given, much is expected. What can they do to be...
There are no communiques. Nobody is asking questions. It is you and I that come on public space that used to ask questions, direct public opinions, and give people the interest to make them understand that all hope is not lost. This is the kind of nation we find ourselves. Then you ask, to which much is that salary? How long now? Only 9 states or 11 states have complied, and nobody is speaking up. But the price of commodities are increasing, and you do not want criminals on the street. When you already know that you have automatically turned yourself to the headquarters of corruption, people have already tagged you that much. I ask this brazen question over and over again. On what temerity and on what line of reasoning does government have the capacity to dare to remove the subsidy on power, when almost all the MDAs and even the villa is holding this same country? Then who they expect to pay a day or a week? That matters. It's about their training, retraining, and their remunerations. That is what counts.
All right. Remember, the talk is for development. We will go on a short break, and when we are back, the conversation on Atlantic Blowout continues.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the app only on ATN.
They are not picking our calls.
Is on the past to so no agreement with the EU, but
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
the Ministry of Water Resources does to impede this incoming disaster? You know, working with the Sustainable Development Goals.
Permit me to say that someone in government will just say, who's this young man that doesn't really see government or feels he knows too much. The truth is we have stayed here long enough and we have been genuine on our course to see to it that we need responsible and responsive government. We do not need this docility that we've experienced and we're still experiencing on a day-to-day basis. There has been a series of floods in this country, and one that we cannot easily quickly forget is the 2012 and 2021 or 2022 flood. Let's not go far. Let's just talk about the Niger Delta region, using it as a case study. This flood we're talking about, the ministry comes out to Nigerians with an attempt to make it look like the heavens were open and rain is falling in a manner so heavy that everywhere is so flooded. But we know that in actual sense, it is the dam, the opening of the dam from a neighboring country, and it flows into Nigeria. One begins to wonder, from 2012 up until today, we're spending 90-point-something billion on Hajj. What is the cost of building our own dam to mitigate genuinely and manage this flood that would always, we know, over a period of time would come? I made a statement earlier and I'm reiterating it again. We have seen governments and successive governments whose whole intention is to just impoverish and suffer the people. Because you cannot tell me that you know thieves or robbers are coming to invade your apartment 2 years to the time, and possibly the opening of the dam as well within this time frame.